Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Global Happiness Today. Today, indeed, is for Nnamdi Kanu, and his lawyers, his legal team, are firing on all arsenals. Honestly, they're not giving Nnamdi Kanu's those opposing him, those taking him to court, and those challenging his fundamental human rights. They're not giving them breathing spaces. It's coming internationally, it's coming locally, it's coming from Umuahia, it's coming from Abuja, and definitely the international level is where we are heading to, and it's taking a very different dimension this time around. I must say, his international lawyers are beginning to work in full swing. Before we go into the newspaper to find out exactly what the American constitutional lawyer is doing right now, I think the federal government they may need to, buckle up, because this whole thing is taking a different dimension now. We'd like you to subscribe to our channel by clicking on the red subscribe button. Beside it, you see bell notification icon. Please go ahead, click on it to get notified as soon as you update our channel on YouTube. Very quickly, the American constitutional lawyer Bruce Fein has accused the President Muhammadu Buhari of flouting court orders and unleashing malicious treatment on the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu. Fein, who is also Kanu's counsel, said the torture Buhari's government had meted out on the indigenous people of Biafran leader was worse than what former South African President late Nelson Mandela experienced in the hands of apartheid government. The American legal practitioner, who had been denied from seeing Kanu twice by the operatives of the Department of State Services, also said Buhari disobeyed court injunctions regarding the human rights of an activist, Omoyele Sowore, former National Secretary, former National Security Advisor, Sambo Dasuki, the leader of the Nigerian Islamic movement, Ibrahim El-Zakzaky, amongst others. Fein said this in an open letter to the President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Buhari, on Friday, which is today. The letter partly reads, and I quote, "You should tremble for Nigeria when you reflect that God is just, and that his justice cannot sleep forever. Nothing is more certainly written in the book of fate than that Biafrans are to be free and independent and will obtain deliverance from your malign Fulani yoke. You are laboring in immoral and illegitimate defense of artificial borders ordained by European powers over 135 years ago without the consent of a single African, exhibiting a wicked contempt for the gospel of government by the consent of the governed. Last June, Bruce Fein is still talking. Last June, you conspired with Kenyan President Uhuru Kenyatta to kidnap and torture Biafran leader Nnamdi Kanu in Nairobi, and then illegally transferred him into the malign arms of the Department of Security Services. There, for 8 months, Biafran's savior had been detained in solitary confinement and denied necessary medical care and legal counsel without a trial and under cruel conditions satisfying any threshold of torture. In so doing, you have embraced the tyrannical doctrine of the Queen of Hearts in Alice in Wonderland, sentence first, verdict afterwards. Your lawless, malevolent mistreatment of Nnamdi Kanu is far worse than the degradation Nelson Mandela experienced under South Africa's apartheid regime. It provoked international ostracism and exclusion from the United Nations. Among other things, Mr. Mandela was not denied access to counsel of choice, was not tortured before trial, and was not detained indefinitely in solitary confinement. Solitary confinement. Your merciless, malign persecution of Nnamdi Kanu has plunged Nigeria below the moral repugnance of apartheid. The 15-count amended charge against Nnamdi Kanu, filed at the 11th hour of a scheduled January 18, 2022 hearing to entertain an earlier 7-count amended charge, is a legal embarrassment. Before examining the charges seriatim, a review of fundamental legal principles is in order. Under Section 36, subsection 1 of the Nigerian Constitution, an accused is entitled to a fair hearing within a reasonable time by a court or other tribunal constituted in such manner as to secure its independence and impartiality. It is notorious that Nigeria's executive branch routinely flouts court orders with impunity. Judges are powerless to secure compliance. Your Minister of Justice and Attorney General Abubakar Malami boldly proclaimed during his July 26, 2019 hearing before the National Assembly that constitutional rights were subservient to his rapt idiosyncratic conception of the public good. In other words, the Nigerian constitution is nothing but a scrap of paper to be shredded at will by the executive branch. Among other things, you have defied court orders regarding the releases of Omoyele Sowore, Sambo Dasuki, Ibrahim Ezagzagi, Navy Captain Dado Lambijo, and court decrees setting government debt limits and demanding an accounting for spending of received funds looted by administration since 1999. Nigeria's legendary human rights senior advocate of Nigeria, SARS, Femi Falana, has assembled at least 32 court orders that you have ignored. The DSS has flaunted orders of the Federal High Court of Nigeria, Abuja Division, entitling Nnamdi Kanu to meet with three persons of his choice twice weekly for 2 hours on each occasion, as Nnamdi Kanu's international lawyer and spokesman have been illegally denied access to him by DSS on multiple occasions. In sum, Nigerian judicial tribunals are foot soldiers of the executive branch in violation of Section 36, subsection 1. Accordingly, every judicial proceeding is void and illegitimate under the Nigerian Constitution. Nnamdi Kanu has also been denied his right to a fair hearing within a reasonable time. More than 8 months have elapsed since his illegal extraordinary rendition from Kenya, and there has yet to be a trial or opportunity for Nnamdi Kanu to confront his accusers before an impartial judge, unbeholden to the executive branch. In a lengthy letter titled, "I Accuse," Fein quoted a Quranic verse for Buhari to think about and walk in the path of justice. This letter is long and it is time to conclude. I accuse you, Mr. President, of orchestrating the kidnapping, torture, extraordinary rendition, arbitrary detention, and unconscionable ongoing criminal prosecution of Nnamdi Kanu based on his Biafran ancestral free speech, freedom of political association, and aspiration for Biafran referendum to restore a sovereignty that was criminally extinguished by the United Kingdom over a century ago. I accuse you of resorting to violence to defend immoral, illegal boundaries drawn by the United Kingdom without the consent of a single African inhabitant, addressing argument to the Federal High Court of Nigeria, Abuja Judicial Division, are exercises in futility because the judiciary takes instructions from you, not the rule of law. The path forward is clear. Order the immediate release of Nnamdi Kanu, dismiss the prosecution, and pay damages for criminal injuries you have inflicted upon him and his family. Negotiate with Nnamdi Kanu in a neutral forum the terms and conditions for holding a Biafran independence for referendum. I take that again. Negotiate with Nnamdi Kanu in a neutral forum the terms and conditions for holding a Biafran independence referendum. The 2011 referendum for South Sudan should serve as a template. These steps require no more than following the Holy Quran, stand up firmly for justice as a witness to God, even as against yourselves or your parents or your kin, and whether it be against rich or poor. Surah 4 verses 135. My Lord had commanded justice. Surah 7 verses 29. Our salvation lies in making justice thunder like a hammer on an anvil in every mosque, in every church, in every synagogue throughout Nigeria. Fein added, "My God." Now this is quite plenty, and he has said it all. This is coming from Fein. He made the Bruce Fein, the international lawyer of Nnamdi Kanu, writing an open letter to the President of Nigeria, President Muhammadu Buhari, and insisting that referendum should take place and it should make it free and fair. In fact, for more details, go back into the news and go through it again. Let's meet in that conversation.